The following short video has been prepared for the City of Hazleton's elected and appointed officials. This is a briefing on the Jerome County Multi-Jurisdiction All-Hazard Mitigation Plan 5-year update. The process for updating this plan is illustrated in this particular slide. Please note the light green areas in the work scope, especially this box where it says that we'll communicate risk and vulnerability to public and elected officials, and we'll do that through electronic participation. This is done to save time and not to take unnecessary time in your local city council meetings. The risk analysis process is based on the determination of the return interval of hazardous events. Return intervals are calculated by looking at the number of events that have occurred over the recorded number of years, or the recorded history, and then statistically calculating the frequency or probability. For this particular example, there were 17 events that occurred over 23 years, with a probability then of 73.9% of reoccurrence, or a reoccurrence interval of every 1.35 years. This is used to determine the frequency and the probability of hazard events occurring in any given jurisdiction. Once that analysis is completed, we grade each hazard based on 5 specific hazard categories. Historical occurrence, which looks at the number of historical occurrences which have happened within 50 years or whatever recorded history that we have for that event. The probability, which we've described how that is calculated. The vulnerability, which looks at the percentage of people and property that would be affected. The spatial extent, which examines the percentage of the specific jurisdiction that would be affected geographically. And then magnitude, which looks at injuries, illnesses, property damage, loss of life, and other economic losses. Once that analysis is complete, we develop a hazard ranking chart that looks similar to this particular chart, with the 5 hazard categories across the top and the hazards listed on the left. We enter a score for each of the hazards, total that score, and then determine the ranking based on a high, medium, and low scenario. Note that the hazards that are ranked in red or shaded in red are the high hazards. A chart for the City of Hazleton has been developed and will be presented in this video. The hazards that were examined for this study included drought, severe weather with subcategories of extreme heat, lightning, hail, tornado, straight line wind, severe winter weather, which had 2 subcategories of extreme cold and severe winter storms or blizzards, flooding that looks at flash flooding, river flooding, and dam failure, geologic, which includes only earthquake, wildfire, biological, which includes these 4 hazards. We've included burrowing rodents, as there is a severe outbreak of burrowing rodents or pocket gophers in south central and southeastern Idaho, which are damaging canal banks. Of special concern in Jerome County is livestock disease, which would impact the dairy industry. We also examined technological hazards such as structure fire, hazardous materials, civil disobedience, and terrorism. For the City of Hazleton, we examined the 100-year floodplain, which there is none in the City of Hazleton. There is no flood source that could, other than flash flooding or sheet flooding that comes from the normal spring melt of snow. The mean fire return interval is how often would a brush fire or a wildland fire occur in the City of Hazleton. Note that the return interval for most of the city is in the 91 to 100 year area because of the agricultural land that is based around the city. So the hazard severity ranking for the City of Hazleton The city of Hazleton is a very safe place. There are no high hazards. The medium hazard, the highest score, is 14, which is for severe winter storms. Drought obviously is an issue in Jerome County, and it's why the Minidoka project was built, was to irrigate the ground using canals. Severe weather, hazardous materials, and we can go on down the list. We have these 3 mitigation projects that we would suggest for the city of Hazleton. These are carryovers from the 2009 plan. Number 1 project would be to identify evacuation shelters and equip them with emergency generators. This should be coordinated with Clint Blackwood in the County Emergency Management Office. Develop ordinances to manage stormwater in subdivisions. This as we build out and increase impervious services in the community, we're more prone to flash flooding. And then, of course, supporting that would be an update to the existing stormwater system. All of these are prioritized as a medium priority, which means that they would be done as funding is provided. The plan, the Jerome County Multi-Jurisdiction All Hazard Mitigation Plan, is available for review. We are currently just finishing our proofing, and we'll be updating this link. But if you go to the Office of Emergency Management's page on the Jerome County website, go to the bottom of that page and click on links. On the bottom of the links page, you'll see this link, Jerome AHMP Update Draft 2, and that's where the updated draft will be. We'd encourage you to review that and provide us comments. So our next steps is we will provide to the city clerk a sign-up sheet, or a sheet where the clerk can list those who have viewed this video, which we need to have that particular list returned to us. Please provide us comments on the risk rankings if you'd like to change any of those, or if you have questions, provide comments on the mitigation projects, and if you have any additional projects that you would like to add, we'd be glad to do so. Once the plan has been reviewed and approved by the Idaho Bureau of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, we will be returning to you with a resolution which we have drafted for the city to adopt the plan, and it will be good for another 5 years. Again, we appreciate taking the short time to view this video. If you have any comments, please contact myself, Rick Fawcett, with Whisper Mountain Professional Services at rick.whispermountain@gmail.com, or Mr. Clint Blackwood at the Office of Emergency Management in Jerome County. Thanks for your time.